Welcome to another exciting episode of the $1 Million Peddlers. I'm Papergoy.
Not Mr. Magazine.
And it's BOLO Day, and Mr. Magazine hates these BOLO days. I thought he was running behind today, so I picked his BOLOs out for him, and he just doesn't like when I do this for him. Well, we're going to get started over here. I put this one up, Mr. Magazine, because it's crazy to me.
It's crazy? Well, Funko Pop, Green Slurpee. Oh, that makes me thirsty.
Oh, look at that.
7-Eleven exclusive, number 194.
I guess my question is, do you think anybody actually opened this and left it on the counter to prank their kids and stuff? Or I was just trying to think of why you would buy
These
this.
collectors, well, it's an exclusive. You can only get it at 7-Eleven. So especially if you're a 7-Eleven lover, it is colorful. They like the different colored boxes. They're more exciting than the plain white boxes. I don't get it. And it only sold for $15, and I had it for $25 originally. So that I think Funkos are getting oversaturated in the market.
But and then I have another question for you.
Sure.
That says number 194.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Well, there's numbered ones in the series. There's thousands and thousands of them. How they do the numbering, it's not the only 194.
Okay,
I'll tell you that
that's
much.
what I was wondering.
Because I've searched on certain ones, and there's, there could be 10 different number 5s of different characters, I think different series and so forth. I'm not an expert on it by any means, but I do know there's obviously more than 194.
Right, because I could see Scorpion being 194 in the Marvel series, and I could see the Joker being 194 in the DC
Right, they got
series.
a Walking Dead, but it doesn't mean there's 194 Walking Deads or 194 Daredevils. It's certainly, but I don't know their number system.
Because I'm saying, what could possibly this be 194 out of?
They shouldn't. I mean, maybe there might be a guide out there that explains it. I don't know, but I know these been. I don't know how many years these have been out, a decade or longer at least. But yeah, it's crazy. I mean, unless they run like 1,000, then they rerun them because I don't know if I've seen anything over 1,000.
Okay,
but who knows? But
it just caught my eye, and I just thought it was interesting. That's all. So,
cool.
but again, if it's an exclusive and it only went for $15, that's don't run out and buy all the exclusives.
Now, if it was an older exclusive, it's a different story. But the newer stuff, they're a dime a dozen. Or you can go to that landfill where they dump like 1 million of these out there because they needed storage space at their warehouse.
Actually, a dime a dozen, I would buy them if I get $15 each for them.
That's a good point. Yeah, good call. Next up, I see it's cheap. Mr. Magazine Cheap Toy Day. BMC Toys and CTS, TSC, whatever that means.
Cowboys. Thank you. That was why I put that up. What does any of that mean?
Cowboys. Well, I'll explain in a second as best I can. But Cowboys and Soldiers, lot of 14 ounces. So I did tell them to weigh them. But is it Cowboys and Indians or Cowboys and Soldiers? I guess they're Soldiers. Yeah, look at these hats. Looks like Civil War guys. It's a little mix. And maybe that's only why I went for $10. But I bought it. I have a customer that usually sells me sports cards. But he's into these little figures, the ones you got to paint, the metal ones, all this. And he loves all this stuff. He sells it to me in bulk and kind of explains it to me that they're popular. People still collect them and the brands and companies and so forth. So I just give it to my listener and say, hey, this is all I know about it. Do the best you can. And I said, weigh them by the bag. Just throw a bunch in a bag, weigh them, and how else are you going to sell them? You don't want to spend too much time on them. So
BMC, CTS, TSC are all brands.
You're correct.
Okay. Again, that's why I put that up, because I had no idea whatsoever.
Yeah, I think it's two different brands, BMC, and then this is one brand here,
brand.
CTS, TSC, whatever. If you're dyslexic, it's either which way. It works either way. So.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Good Housekeeping, October 1982. Stephanie Powers, Princess Diana, $25.
How did you get $25 out of this? That's why I put this up.
So the lister there, that's his initials there. He seems to price things higher. He wants to get more bang for his buck, and and rightly so, he does get it sometimes. So, let's see, his listing is, I would say, good enough. He does.
Yeah, you got $25 out of that magazine. That's what.
Yeah,
it
took a couple years, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, Princess Diana must have sold it. Stephanie Powers, she's not really.
Yeah, Diana's not particularly popular right now either. So.
Yeah, good looking cover, maybe. Who knows? It looks like it's in nice shape too.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Yeah.
No mailing label, right?
Yeah.
Although those don't tend to be found that as often as not, they don't have mailing labels on them because they did sell that magazine through the checkout counters.
Yeah, supermarkets and stuff. Sure, yeah, that makes
absolutely.
sense. Yeah. All right, next up, Star Wars Master Replicas, Medal of Yavin, limited edition, Han Luke, 2004. I think I sold this for about $450, $500. I've had it for I bought it a few years ago, and then I'm like, what am I going to do with this? And I go, just put up high, and it's less sought after now. For whatever reason, they used to sell for $1,000. I probably paid $600 for it, sold it for $500. But I want to move it out, use that money to buy something else, pay down some debt, whatever, get the money rolling, because eBay is not doing too well for me right now.
Now, why did I put this one up?
Because the first picture is ugly and horrible, and it should be this one here.
Actually, probably the third picture might be the best one for it.
Yeah, I think you're with the nameplate, maybe a little.
Oh yeah, maybe
a little longer with it with this nameplate there. Yeah, true.
Can you see on that nameplate what it says though?
Yep, metal.
Oh, you can. Okay, yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's that CZUR. CZUR's a little dark sometimes
dark
with
at
stuff
times,
like this, but
yep.
Just something that I bought it. I'm like, I don't know. Let's move it out. So we moved it out. Next up. Fire King. Sounds like a YouTuber we know. Extra heavy Jadite.
I think it's Jadite.
Jadite. Well, it depends. If you're in Europe, it's Jadite. Coffee mug stamped restaurant. Jadite. C. I think I took $35 for this. And again, I think I got it from the guy that gives me the signed books and stuff. And he brings in some weird things. And I don't like when he brings in ceramics, and he knows it. But I like it that I can pay him a lot less and complain. Sell it to me cheaper. Like today, he brought in probably $350 worth of ceramic stuff. Some cool salt and pepper shaking stuff. And I go, I know you're gonna not like this offer. It's not my usual run of the mill offer, and I offer him like $100. He goes, that's fine. I understand. I go, I just don't want to deal in this stuff. And I muted that. Okay.
I just put this up just because, again, $44 for that, and that is something or other. I mean, it stands out.
What is this doing here? Does this come with it? I mean,
I can't imagine it does.
Come with it. Is it? Yeah, it must. I don't know how did it get on there. Look, it's a key ring. How did it get on there?
They must have really pulled it open and really taken their time to get it on there.
It's whatever. It is what it is.
But again, that's something other that I'll have to remember if I do see a glass like or a cup like that out there. $44. Yeah. You see it at a sale for $1.
Right.
Heck, I don't usually buy that kind of stuff.
I mean, it's a weird color. Anything that's odd and different. And like for $5, hey, take a shot. Worst case, you break even or make $5, but you're at least learning and taking a chance.
Yeah.
Next up. Oh, you love this stuff. Cowboys and Indians, 40 pieces. Tim Meat Toy 2022 plastic figures. And $12 it is, we got the 50% off sale, so they're probably going for 15 to 20, and we took $12.64 or whatever.
I guess I put this outside a lot of questions. Number one is where you got it from. Now I know.
Yep.
Number two, it's 2022. That is much newer than most of the stuff we get.
And what store are you going to find this in?
I don't know.
Those dollar stores maybe, but I don't think they're $1. From what my customers tell me, they're kind of expensive now. The new stuff, just because of the cost of making the toys.
Maybe what's the store that's right next to you? Maybe that store, because that's not really a dollar store, but it's sort of dollar store. Dollar General, right?
But something like that. Maybe it's $5,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get 40 pieces and whatever, 30 cents a piece. You're getting whatever it is. So there you go.
Again, that is something or other you could probably find at a flea market for $1, and I would just walk by it. Now I will take a second look at it and then walk by it.
Well, and they're kind of like Legos too, in the sense that even if there's a huge tub of them, you get them for $5-10. You can sell them by weight. If you just think about, I don't know if they weighed this one because it was sealed, but
probably not sealed.
But we were, weighing them, and at least they know, hey, what they're getting. These guys are experts that collect this stuff. I don't know much about them. I barely played when I was a kid, but it is what it is.
Right.
All right, more from me. I'm gonna keep going until you tell me to stop. Yo, MTV Raps Pro Set music cards, 36 packs, boosters sealed. 1991. I think the only problem is that they're not boosters.
I was just saying, I don't think they're boosters. I don't think they did a booster.
Yeah, they're not boosters. Yeah, no. They are packs, and they're just like regular card boxes, like sports cards and sets. But I'm sure the person that bought it knew what they were doing. And this is part of the junk era.
That's why I put that on.
And these were $5-10 maybe for the longest time. Now these rap celebrities and stuff, they're talking 35 years old now. So, it goes for like $35 a box.
Yeah, that's why I put that up there, because, again, you can find estate sales and collectors and dealers that just have boxes and boxes and boxes of junk wax.
Yeah.
And I never know what's good or not good, so I just walk by it all. But, if you happen to find these out there for $5 a piece still, somebody's just got this stuff that they bought back in the day. I just need to get rid of this stuff. $5 a box.
Right.
Grab these. They will sell for you.
Definitely, yeah. And I think they had celebrity ones, too, not just rap ones, but like music celebrities, like Madonna and stuff like that.
Paul Abdul, I remember being on one of them,
Yep.
That would be mine. You can click on it. Thank you.
You're up.
Tip Top Tailors, Canada Booklet, You and Your Clothes, 1930s Men's Fashions. $54 on this, 16 pages. The only problem is there's no copyright on this, things like this, so you just got to kind of guess from the paper and from the pictures what era it is. I think it's probably 1930s. I did do a little bit of research on it. Actually, I thought it was a little bit earlier. And this is where your listeners wouldn't do a good job because you don't pay them to do a good job because you can't afford to. Right. I did research, and I actually, as I'm pointing at the screen, which nobody can see, I actually did research as to when that building right there came into being, and that's how I was kind of able to date it based off of that building on there.
Gotcha.
Was able to pinpoint it as being 30s, even though I thought it was earlier.
Cool.
Again, that's the kind of research I can afford to do because I'm a one-man band. You can't have your people do it. You just absolutely can't, because how are they going to know to research that, I guess, is the next question.
True.
But $54, I'm quite happy with it.
Cool.
Growing up and liking it. You're going to grow up and you're going to like it. 1944 Personal Products Company, Modeste Feminine. Last week we had a feminine booklet that had sold. This week we had another one. The same person bought it. So again, there's at least one person out there collecting them.
Sounds like a political slogan nowadays.
There's just one person. Win Magazine, if you remember. I was the world's biggest dealer in Win Magazines.
Okay.
This person actually bought both of those out of stock. They bought both of those.
Nice.
They bought 2 other Win magazines as well. So they ended up buying 4. They're overseas, and they bought 4 Win magazines. So they are now the biggest overseas Win magazine collector around.
Nice, good for them.
November 1st, 1981, Gwangju, South Korea, Japan. Boy, we couldn't. Tsurga nuclear plant.
They're probably cornering the market now, so if you want to buy them back, if they're smart, they put $100 a piece on them.
That is absolutely true. Where else are you going to get them?
Not from you.
Thank you. Canisius versus Manhattan College, Niagara versus St. John's basketball program, college, 1952. I put this up just to show you that everybody, what do they want? They want the big schools. The small schools sell as well. I think I took a $20 offer on it. I paid $3 for it, I have a feeling, on that. But, again, everybody wants the big schools. You can sell the small schools as well. They're just harder to find.
Yeah.
So, I guess look at it that way. I mean, obviously, if you get back into the 1800s, it's a whole different ballgame. But you get into stuff from the 1950s. How many people attended a Canisius versus Manhattan College game versus how many people attended the Ohio State-Michigan game? So I'm making the numbers up because I don't know, but if 3,000 people attended Canisius Manhattan College and 10% of them bought programs, you got 300, 400 of them to start with versus the Ohio State Michigan, you got 5,000, 10,000 of them sold.
Well, the crazy thing is anything from 1950 now is 75 years old. Like, that's
absolutely true.
Pretty darn old. The problem is there's not enough demand. It should be a $50 program, but there's just not enough demand for it.
Right. Up next, Rochester Can Company brochure, roughly 1910. New York ash, dairy, food, tubs, garbage. That's rude. It's got a long tear on it. I bring this up because I put this up for $3 over on Whatnot. Nobody on Whatnot wanted it, so I brought it over here.
That is crazy.
And I got $30 out of it. Yeah, I would think that somebody or other would want that item.
Look at that.
Nice and old.
Yeah.
But that was one of those, about 15 seconds into the Whatnot auction, I stopped trying to sell it. I mean, I let the auction go. Yeah. But, the first 15, look at this. This is great. Look at these pails. Look at this. And about 15 seconds in with no bids, I'm like, all right, we'll see what's coming up next. And I start talking about the next item. So
exactly.
If you hear me doing that at one of my Whatnot auctions, bid, because I know it's a good item. And it doesn't
as soon as it ended and someone wanted, so sorry.
Exactly. Another item nobody wanted over on Whatnot. Play School Star Rider, 1979 Owner's Manual, electronic.
That is cool.
Adventure machine. So
I would have wanted that when I was a kid. Yeah, that's cool.
I've never seen never seen it. Never seen the.
I mean, it's got to be expensive if the real one's out there. I wish someone bought it, thought they were buying the real one, like that happened before.
Yeah, that would be wonderful.
Yes.
That's why I have all those pictures. That's why I have all those pictures on it. Up next, Focus on Film 29 with Louise Brooks, Diane Keaton, Carl Hartle, William A. Wellman. Another Whatnot pass.
They just never learn.
I keep trying to bring good things over there. I keep trying to bring good things. And Louise Brooks, of course, is the selling point in that, I would think. Lulu. And finally, the Outlook magazine, April 30th, 1910. Mark Twain, Theodore Roosevelt, China, New York City subways.
China.
Chicken to China, the Chinese chicken. $52.29 with 3 bids on it. That does have a lot of potentially good. In fact, every one of those is a good keyword other than Outlook. Mark Twain, Theodore Roosevelt, China, New York City subways.
Cool.
And I put pictures up of each of them as well. So those were the sales this week. Next week, Mr. Magazine, I'm sure will purposely bring up all expensive items. Probably will not be a plastic Cowboy and Indian anywhere to be seen.
No, they would be plastic graded cards from the New Jersey collection. Oop, did I just say that? Sorry.
Boring. All right, do hit the like button if you could, and we'll see you next video.
Take care. Bye-bye.